Yeah, there we go.
So,
Look at that.
yeah, we got some new stuff going here. And just so everyone knows, we are live.
This reminds me of a Batman movie with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson.
What part?
Where does he get such wonderful toys?
Oh, God. Oh, okay, yes. Okay, I get it. Oh,
That's
my God.
awesome.
Well, welcome back to the podcast about nothing and everything entertainment. I'm your host, Matt Ram.
And I am Phil Stop.
All right, now it's been a while since we've did an episode. I know we're kind of on and off when we keep saying we're going to be continuous with our shows on our channel here, but it's summer, people are busy. I travel. Phil Stop's got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
Rude got her own thing going. This episode is only gonna be me and Phil Stop for this one. So yeah, you get to get a double dose of us. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm a sexy man beast.
So in this episode, what we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna discuss the latest craze that's been going on for quite some time. The Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go. It's the thing. It's what people do. People play it. You see it on YouTube. You see it on Facebook. It is the thing to do. If you're not playing,
everyone's playing it. There's
everybody is playing it.
Policemen playing it. Kids, well, not too many kids, but a lot of adults. Surprisingly, a lot. Adults.
From what I've seen, it's like a lot of like teens, like in high school to adults. That's the range I'm seeing. I do see every now and then like the younger groups, but most of the time it's in most places I go to, downtown, going around my apartments, even around the office itself. It's mainly our age group that's around there, which is fine, fantastic, but like it is everywhere. Everyone and their mom is playing this game, so. This is what's going to be our point of discussion for this episode. There will also be some video gameplay that I'll throw in there as well. I mean, you won't be we'll have this going on here, but we'll also have other, actual gameplay. This is actually from my own personal, my own account where I go around.
Pokeventures.
Yeah, catching and taking down gyms and whatnot, which we'll go into later. The game itself released earlier this month. It was back like the first week of July, I believe it was.
I think it was the first week of July.
Yeah, first to start off with Japan getting the first release, Japan and Australia. And then literally within a day, they dropped it for the North America and then just rolled away from there. Now, when the game came out, it did have its how's the best way
hiccups.
To say this? Yes, hiccups. A lot of server crashes. Some
technical difficulties. I think there was a meme about the Pokemon Go servers.
Yeah.
And it was just a bunch of potatoes hooked up together with wires. It was literally that bad to try to get connected.
Yeah, it was. I was frustrated. The entire world was frustrated, but we had to understand. I understood it right away. Like, this is, first release. One, everyone's downloading it, so that's one thing. Two, everyone's trying to jump into it right away, which is for any type of online anything will basically bombard it with too much information, which will cause it to shut down.
Well, also from the business point of view, I mean, it's something brand new, something that's experimental.
Yep.
You don't want to invest into it too heavily and then have it all crash down on you. So I understand that. You start small,
right,
and then you expand,
right. So that was a fun first week, and then after a while, things started smoothing out. The game started playing smoother, and it became this massive explosion of popularity, which is in its own right. I mean, I've been playing the game. Just Pokemon franchise in general since day one back in the late 90s when it first came out with red and blue and then yellow.
Yep.
So for me, this is very nostalgic. Being able to be that one kid, be like, I wish I could live in that world.
Yeah,
Where
now
go around, and now here we are.
now you feel like you're Ash, right? You watched all the TV shows,
Right.
You know, you watched the movies growing up, and now you're like, I get to be Ash. You know, when you played the games on the handheld consoles,
Yeah.
you played that character. But now, especially with the augmented reality features of the game,
Right.
you feel like you are in the Pokeverse and you are catching all these Pokemon. So
Exactly.
it's great.
Yeah. So that's all fine and great. I think the positives certainly don't aren't just positive, because there are some backlashes to this as well. One of the major things that augmented reality is product of is like people don't pay attention. They're so invested in what they're looking at that they don't see what they're walking into. I'm not sure if anyone else has seen. So people have hurt themselves severely because they were so into this game that they weren't paying attention to their surroundings. Even though that is the first, that's the first thing that is shown when the game loads up is, hey, be aware of your surroundings. People apparently just ignore that, and they're just like, I want to get into my game. I want to be able to do this. I want to go on my adventures, so on and so forth. And then you got like people. I mean, like one of the worst ones was people getting robbed.
That's bad.
Yeah, people were getting robbed. People were setting up.
Yeah, the worst case scenarios I've seen where people would set up Pokestops.
Yeah.
Pokestops are city landmarks where you could attract Pokemon. So they would intentionally put a lure in there so all the Pokemon go there.
Yep.
And then the people would just like rob these people who want to play Pokemon.
They would be intimidating, and they would literally just steal their stuff. I mean, it's literally your modern day Team Rocket.
Dude, look at the iPad version. Holy crap! It fills the screen.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap!
Like I said, it's on all devices. Android and iOS. For those who have Windows operating system phone, sorry,
We're just not going to show you my age here. We're going to skip that part.
But not only that, I mean, not only just getting robbed, but you got people who were like, there was this one person who literally fell down a hill, like a pseudo cliff, not paying attention to where he was walking, trying to catch these Pokemon in the game.
There was also that girl who like walked into oncoming traffic. Yep. Because she wanted to catch a Pokemon.
And then there was also in France some guy who walked onto a military base.
It's like really good.
And got chased off by military personnel because he wasn't authorized to be there. So I mean, like, people gotta pay attention. You gotta know your surroundings. I mean, don't just be blindly walking around with stuff.
And you don't have to be that close. As long as it's in your circle of proximity, you'll be fine.
Exactly. But that's the extremes. I mean, outside of that, there's got just the naysayers of people who are like, oh, you shouldn't be playing this. This is a kid's game. You should act your age and all stuff. And which I say to them, screw you. This is my childhood that I get to relive as an adult to be able to do, the things I want to do as a child but couldn't. So being able to, catch these Pokemon, being able to live the quote unquote dream of the Pokemon Master, that's my choice. That's my right. I mean, like, who are you to tell me how to have a good time? It's never been my style to be like, oh, you gotta do, you gotta be an adult, meaning you gotta just work and pay bills and then go home.
I got the perfect quote for this.
What's that?
What is it? Varsity Blues.
Oh God.
I don't want your life.
Yeah, that's where I figured you were going with this. Like, I don't want to live your life, and this and that here.
But yeah, I mean, people shouldn't judge you, or even as an individual, you shouldn't care if it's something that you like to do. Then do it. Have fun with it. I mean,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was getting at itself. I mean, like, if you're gonna enjoy something, enjoy it. Don't let no one else tell you otherwise. And for me, that's what I've been doing with this game. I've been enjoying myself. I've been getting out and about. That's one of the major positives with this game itself. It actually made people active. It made people go out and walk, go out and ride a bike someplace, go to a park.
This is a good PSA. Kids out there, Do you. Just be happy, you know. Go to school, do your thing, and just be you. Don't let everyone else judge you for what you play, what you do, what you are, whatever. In the end, we're all just human beings trying to have fun on this big blue ball of dust. End of PSA.
There you have it. PSA by Phil Stop. So for the game itself, I mean, like, it is fun. You get, like I said, you walk around. It is everything that, for those who've ever played Pokemon in the handheld game consoles, like on the Game Boy, the Game Boy Color, the Nintendo DS, the DSi, 3DS, so on and so forth. It's very similar to that. You go around, you catch these Pokemon using Pokeballs, and they have all three versions. And in it's some data mining from certain people were able to find the Master Ball in there in the code. You catch these guys. You're able to retain them or give them to the Pokemon Professor. When it comes to the leveling system, it's not like in the game itself where you battle and then they gain experience and you level up. This one actually relies on a candy system, meaning that every time you catch a Pokemon, you're going to get 3 candies that revolve around that Pokemon itself. So if you catch a Bulbasaur, you're going to get 3 Bulbasaur candies to go with it that you're going to need to evolve it or increase its combat power, CP. These range from being only requiring 12 candies to 50, 100 to the most is a 500, and that not 500, 400, and that's 400. For the
Magikarp to Gyarados.
Exactly. You also have the egg hatching. Now, unlike the egg hatching that happens here, is not like in the actual games where you breed 2 Pokemon and then they leave an egg for you to hatch. What this one does here, it's you come across them at these Pokestops, and then what you do is you put them in a little incubator, and then it gives you a distance that you have to walk for it to actually reach the time to actually hatch. This ranges from 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers, and 10 kilometers. Now, yes, they're using the metric system here for a lot of these things, but you get used to it. Usually, in average, from me just doing it alone, like a 2 kilometer walk is about like 15 minutes of walking around. 20-30 minutes for 5, and roughly maybe 45 minutes to an hour for the 10K. But once you do, it then will notify you, and you'll see a little egg, and it'll do its little hatching animations that it does in all of the Pokemon games themselves of the latest generations. And you get yourself a random Pokemon that's available to you. Now, the rarity depends on the amount of distance each egg has to walk. Some of the more common ones are in the 2K. Your average ones are in the 5, and then the rares are in the 10. Now, rare Pokemon themselves are just as elusive. The more you level up, the more rare encounters you'll have. There are gyms that you can actually take on. Now, the way the gyms work in this game, I mean, like, it's similar to like Capture the Flag. Your team color, red, blue, or yellow, will then come across one of these gym areas, which will either be owned by a rival team, your own team, or by no team at all. Now, again, that ranges in color depending on what it is. Your rival's colors, your own colors, and if no one has acquired that gym, it's going to be in a silver color. You would basically, now, if the easiest thing, the way to explain this is if it's a silver color, you can pretty much take whatever Pokemon that you currently own and just place it in there, and then that makes you the gym leader of that stop.
Yeah.
Now, other rivals can come and knock out your Pokemon, and if that happens, the gym
you lose the gym.
Reverts back to silver color, and then they can drop off their own. It's not just one; you can actually have multiple Pokemon in those gyms. But that just depends on the team, because again, this is a team effort between the 3 colors. So the gyms themselves, if you come across one that's your own color, you can actually battle it, but that's considered a training battle in which, if you win, you raise the prestige of the gym, and the higher the prestige, the more Pokemon that you can actually have. More Pokemon can be put in there by your teammates. And this also goes the other way around. If you're battling a rival gym, you have to go through and knock out every single one of theirs and bring down their prestige back to 0 before you can actually take over that gym.
Yeah.
So it takes work. It involves teamwork. So again, another positive to this app itself is that it lets you communicate and work as a group. It's not a solo effort. I mean, you can play solo if you want, but it's really hard.
It rewards hard work, patience, and effort. PSA number 2.
Phil, stop. PSA. I'm telling you, I'm gonna put some stuff in there. I'm literally gonna have just like a stop.
It's gonna
PSA.
pause.
Yeah.
PSA from Phil Stop.
Yeah. So, we're gonna go ahead and
Just cue up the video so they could check it out. Let's take a couple minutes.
I'll load up that video on that one there. So give it a second on that one.
What's really cool about this app is on the iPad, it fills up the whole screen. So normally if it's a phone app, it won't fill up the whole screen. But since this can be formatted to an iPad, it fills the whole screen. Looks pretty cool. Pretty nice. High res.
All right, we back. So that was a gameplay, what have you. Like I said, I'm going to let that run as well in the background. I know some people want to see some of that stuff. I'll have that mainly just show off some of the battling that's happening there, so we'll worry about that later. Editing magic.
Yeah, like magic.
I'm going to have the flashing. Because you're doing this, I'm going to have the flashing on your fingers.
Like lightning bolts.
Yeah. If y'all not realizing here, when it comes to editing these videos, I do the editing after the fact, and I do all the weird shit. So if you've seen our previous podcast where we're talking about the MMO scene, and you see all the little poos in there, that's me.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the poos, you need to go back and take a look at our other video. It's fantastic.
I just do goofy stuff.
I'm glad you do goofy stuff. We need some of that on this.
That's what leads to all that weird stuff
So,
on our show.
Yeah, but I mean, like the Pokemon stuff in the app is phenomenal. They did a really good job with putting the Pokemon in there, animating them, taking them into 3D world. Now it's not the full 150 at the moment. It only goes to 142. They have specified at San Diego Comic-Con that they will be doing an update to add more. They didn't really specify when though, so everyone can look forward to that when it does happen.
I heard about trading as being added.
Yes, they will be adding trading in the next update. So for those who who don't have every Pokemon or trying to complete their own Pokédex, you can just trade with people and switch off and help each other out. Nothing when it comes to the battling of other trainers. It's mainly just strictly gyms at the moment, which is fine. I'm pretty sure if they did the whole one-on-one, it would be kind of chaotic and hectic. So I think they're probably just working the kinks out in that if they are, in fact, ever doing that.
It would be cool if it was like Street Fighter for the 3DS, where you don't have to be playing. It is when it senses someone nearby that's playing the game it does the
figurine battles. Yeah.
So that way you don't have to sit there and battle against other people, but it'll just sense other players, and if it's within your proximity, that purple circle around you, then the computer simulates the battle.
I think that'd be fine. I'd be fine with that. That wouldn't be a problem with me. But I'm pretty sure others want to have that whole how it is now in the current generation.
They want the Ash Ketchum, turn your hat backwards. Pikachu, I choose you. You know.
Yeah. I wouldn't want that. I think for one that would be too much even for me, and I love the game itself. Two, I don't think anyone would ever actually do that out of just pure embarrassment because they would have to, they have to do that out in the open.
Plus the controls would be a little weird because now you'd have to.
That was the other thing when it comes to the battles in the gyms. It's not like in the game itself where you have we have a set of moves, and you get to select which move to use.
Yeah.
No, you only get, each Pokemon has two moves in which when you're in the gym battles, it's tapping the screen to do one move, and then holding down, keeping your finger on the screen to do the second. And then there's like these bars that you have to pay attention to fill up to do your secondary moves because you can't just do them right away.
Yep.
Yeah. So you got all this here. They did keep the battle system, in which they like not battle system. It's. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind on this one. But basically, what it is type advantage. That's still it's still in there. Okay. So like grass beats water, water beats fire, and fire beats grass. That whole bit. So did I say water beats grass? I said grass beats water. Let me rephrase that. So that's still in there. So when you're battling gyms, even if you don't have a high attacking Pokemon, if you have the type advantage, you can actually still do it. Yeah. I think I have that shown in some of the gym battles that I did, where I went across a pretty strong, pretty strong Pokemon gym leaders, and were able to take them out with, my Pokemon that were almost half the strength, but because of type advantage, I was able to, win it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, it's going to be an easy win. It's not going to be easy by any means, and especially when you come across the gyms that have like an 8 ladders that you had to go through before you actually get to the gym leader. It's a team effort type of thing. I'd highly recommend, if you're going to play this game, you're going to go take down gyms, go in groups, minimum 3 people.
Also, just for safety's sake, PSA number 3. If
you're stop PSA.
If you're going to go out with your friends to play this game, just use a buddy system. 3, 4 people, 2 people, at the least. 1 to watch your back, and just to have someone to talk to while you're playing the game. I mean, solo is cool.
Yeah, like I said,
it's one of those games where you want to have someone that you can talk to when you're playing.
Exactly.
I mean, if you have to walk 2 kilometers, you might as well walk 2 kilometers with somebody you're cool with.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying here. It promotes camaraderie. So work as a group, work as a team, do the buddy system, especially for those Pokemon hunters who like to go out at night.
Yeah.
That's where some of those, that's where things, when possible bad things can happen. The
buddy system works.
Yeah. So if you're going out at night, be safe. That's it. PSA ended.
Be safe, be smart.
But I mean, like, it's fun. I enjoy it. I'm glad it finally do it, because they've been talking about Pokemon Go for over a year and a half when they first made the announcement, back at E3 last year.
I think it was last year.
They made that announcement saying, it's coming, and they were projected to have it by the end of that year, but they had to push it back. And even now, there's still the Pokemon Go Plus little Bluetooth little clip in which it's supposed to help play the game even when you don't have the game loaded. It'll vibrate, letting you know when a Pokemon is around, and then you can press on it to try and catch it. And if it turns, a certain color, you caught it. If not, you got to keep going, so on and so forth. Not exactly sure 100% how that works. It was supposed to come out at the end of this month, but they had to push it back to September. That's because they were having some Bluetooth issues when it came to the Android. So y'all with Android phones, it's your fault. I blame you. But I can't be mad at you because I also have an Android. So, what are you going to do? So that's the one thing that I read that the Pokemon Go Plus is been, I guess you can say, has been put on hold.
It's a cool additive. Can't wait for it to be released.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm not sure how that'll affect gameplay. I know for one, it won't help with hatching eggs. It won't, because it won't recognize that part there. So you're gonna have to do you're gonna still gotta do the legwork. It doesn't just automatically find Pokemon for you. You got to go out and do the legwork as well. I mean, again, it's still promoting, being active and so on and so forth. But
I heard there's a fitness app that'll pair with Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I read that article.
Will also track your steps.
Yeah, it's called PokeFit.
Yeah,
it's supposed to go online. It's supposed to go in tandem with the game itself, counting your steps, tracking your distances, similar to like the Fitbit.
Yeah.
So if you guys have ever used a Fitbit or any type of like exercise app,
tracker,
it's that. It's basically that. Now, since this came about, I have been seeing a lot of kind of like shade thrown at it from the Digimon community, if you will. Now, Digimon is similar to the Pokemon series, in which you have a monster to battle other monsters, so on and so forth. The only difference is here is that you have only one. I mean, like for me personally, the things when it comes to the Digimon versus Pokemon, the Digimon start off as a virtual pet to appeal to the male demographic during the Tamagotchi craze of virtual pets. They were more brutish. They were like dragons, tigers, and all this other stuff. And they also were the first like virtual pets to actually be able to battle one another, because they did have like little prongs on top of each other that they connect, and they would actually battle each other. This was before Pokemon, if I'm not mistaken. Digimon came out first, at least the little figure, not figures, little.
Oh, the Digimon.
Yeah, the virtual pets themselves.
Virtual pet thing.
Yeah, those came out first.
Yeah, Pokemon didn't do that till afterward.
Yeah, with their the Pikachu little counter, but there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, I can't, Pokemon Go doing great. I can't wait for the Digimon Go," and there have been people saying, "Yo, remember when the Digimon people thought Pokemon was gonna, was just a fad. It's gonna end." I never understood that. I like both franchises. I mean, I love the cartoons for both ends. The arguments are like, there's more character to the characters in the Digimon series than the Pokemon series. Digimon did it first, trying to get the best of the best. They did it first when it came to battling. But in my opinion here, Pokemon did it better. I mean, they used better technology. They went after the market when it came to the gaming platform, because that's what it was. It was a game. The Digimon Virtual Pet was also technically a game, but it was basically a male, the boys' version of a Tamagotchi. It's like back in the day when girls had the Polly Pocket, and then they had the boys had the Mighty Max. Same thing, literally small little figurines, but one was a boy, one was a girl. This exact same thing when it came to the Digimon and the Virtual Pet line. There was the Digimon, and then there was Tamagotchi. So, like, it to me doesn't make any sense to try to compare the two. It can go either way. You can say, Digimon had, better story. The characters all spoke the same language. But Pokemon, has more variety. It has a stronger fan base. It can go 50-50 on those points there. I'm not sure where you stand on this, but me personally, I'm like, they both worked for me.
I think they're just two different beasts that are of different classification. I mean, there are similarities between the two, but really they're very different. Like you said, each trainer only gets one, right? So and that digital monster, the Digimon, has to match your personality. So a lot of them were matched to their trainer, and that's how they synced with their Digimon. On the Pokemon side, they're just like wild animals. You go out there and catch them and train them to fight and all that good stuff. And they're just on two different levels. I think the story for both are geared toward different audiences.
Okay.
The Pokemon for a much younger demographic, and then the Digimon, the story for the cartoon was, I think, based more for the preteen into the teens, whereas Pokemon was very childlike.
Yeah,
so that's a big difference there. And then as far as the toys and the overall merchandising, you're talking about Nintendo here.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, Nintendo can market their
they can market their
IPs pretty well.
Look at the Amiibo thing. So this is a little tangent here,
right?
But I think it was Ubisoft had those. I forgot what they're called, but they're also those little statue figures you get synced to a game, and you could use those characters.
Oh, the Skylanders.
Skylanders, yeah, Skylanders. Skylanders came out first.
Yeah.
But then when Nintendo put their IP on it, and they put their version out, they dominated.
Yeah.
There's like, oh crap, people our age were lining up to go buy these things and collecting them. And then Disney, after the other two companies jumped in and started that fight for that market, Disney comes in and throws in all their characters. So now it's all about.
Well, that's a small. That Disney they messed up in the first place, because the people who did Skylanders actually hit up Disney first, saying they want to do this collab, and then
Disney's like, no.
It's like, no, that's stupid. No, that's the fad that no one's gonna like. And then they did their own thing, and now look at it.
That's that typical girl hair flip. Psh, no.
Yeah.
They're not gonna go into that.
It was probably one of the biggest mistakes ever. Now, when you look at the Disney Infinity series, that they're going out. They stopped it.
They're actually the first group to pull out of that figure-based game type of.
But Nintendo,
market.
they are still going strong.
Yep.
And they, like I said, this goes back to the the marketing, the merchandise. Digimon only had the virtual pet line. I mean, yes, they did have figures. Don't get me wrong. They did actually have a sort of a transformer line in which they go from smaller to bigger. But the Pokemon line, they transcended figures. They went from figures to cards to comics,
clothing, electronics. I mean, Nintendo really put their full weight behind Pokemon, and you could tell from all the merchandise out there. I mean, there's even freaking Pokedex phone covers for phones now.
Oh yeah. So again, the demographic was completely different on those ends there. But
yes, I agree that you can't really compare the two.
No.
They're two different beasts, and
exactly.
They shouldn't be compared.
That's what I'm saying. It's not something that you should be comparing. It's not something that you should feel that you have to be either this or that for.
Yeah.
It's either you can like both. I mean, Billy, if you really want to get into it, if you want to go nitty gritty, like I believe it was Screw Attack who actually did a death battle episode.
Yeah, they did.
Pokemon versus Digimon, in which I'll let you guys watch that and see who wins that one. It's a good app. But they put a lot of facts in. They put a lot of good facts in them when compared the two. So we'll just leave it at that. Like I said, I'll throw in a quick little mini clip of a little tidbit for it, and then you can go ahead. People watching can go ahead and click that.
Here you go. I'll feed them. What you really want to do is you want to compare Mimi from Digimon against Misty from Pokemon. Because I know you're gonna say, "Well, what about Sora, Phil?
No.
What about Sora?" No. You have to look at who Misty is in the Pokemon world and who Mimi is.
But the comparison between in the death battle itself was about not the actual people, but the creatures within it. So it was basically Digimon versus Pokemon. Literally just that. Not the franchise, not the people, but the actual characters themselves. It's something like I said.
Still, come on.
Like I said,
versus
y'all can take a look at that later on. For us here, I mean, like the both series were fantastic. The app itself, play it, download it. It's free. I mean, yes, there are some
Mimi Tachikawa versus Misty. Come on.
I'm over you. The app is free to play. It's free to download. There are some in-game purchases you can make. You can buy the Pokemon monies to get more Pokeballs or other items to help you hunt and catch these Pokemon in the world. You can also earn those items for free at Pokestops.
Yeah.
So, if you're gonna download the game, you see these little blue like Pokemon like little statuettes. Go near them. Look at them on your app itself, and then you can actually get items from it: Pokeballs, potions, incense, eggs, all this stuff here to help you continue playing the game itself.
Pokestops tend to be city landmarks, so if you know a couple of city landmarks near you, you could try walking towards them and see if they actually are Pokestops.
Exactly. I mean, like, I think by my neighborhood here where I live, there's like there's a light rail station, light rail stop, and that right there's one of the little signs that are there is a Pokestop.
There's a hotel near my house. The fountain in front of the hotel is a Pokestop.
Yeah, so they're everywhere. Take a look, enjoy yourselves, be safe. For us here, we're gonna continue our own adventures. We're on to different teams, but that doesn't matter.
Cause I want to be the very best.
Oh my God, no!
Like no one ever.
I'm gonna have that subtly play now. I'm gonna have that subtly play near the end of this one. Yeah, and for that, again, we'll be back next time on our next episode. We'll actually be talking about. We're gonna switch gears here from gaming world to the movie world. Now, if you guys have seen or not seen, but have heard of our previous podcast, our earlier episodes on iTunes or SoundCloud, there is some where we actually talk about the Avengers and Civil War. In this next one, we're going to be discussing the Batman vs Superman and the Dawn of Justice, with introducing the Justice League. DC is coming up with their movies. You got coming up soon is Suicide Squad. Batman vs Superman Deluxe Edition, which is probably the better way to watch the movie. That dropped, and then you still have Wonder Woman coming next year. So
Justice League is also next year.
Yeah, so they're coming up, and it's going to be amazing, and we're going to discuss that one in further detail.
Finally, Aquaman gets his due.
Oh,
with Jason Momoa.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap.
So look forward to that one in our next episode. But until then, I mean, if you like what we saw, if you like how things are changing up here with the the face cameras here, I know it kind of looks like we're all up in your face. I'm gonna actually have this little section here is actually gonna be in a smaller screen size to the edge of the screen.
Yeah,
you'll
so
see me there.
And
if you like what you're seeing here, just give us a thumbs up on that. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. The more subscribers you guys that we get, the better. Leave comments. I like, as most people say, like, comment, subscribe. We
vote for Misty or Mimi.
Oh, there you go. Question of the day: what was your favorite Pokemon? I mean, from the first generation to now, I mean, what was your favorite? What's that one that, like, is when people say, hey, you play Pokemon, what's the first Pokemon that comes to mind right for you? Like, for me, it's the Venusaur. In the Pokédex, he is number 3. He's also the final evolution of Bulbasaur. You're one of the 3 main starters in the first generation.
My Pokemon would probably be Pikachu.
The main mascot.
Yeah, because he's a rebel. I don't want to be no ball. Don't put me no ball.
For those of you guys who never played Pokemon Yellow or seen the show in general, that Pikachu is never in a ball. He follows you around the entire time.
He walks around with Ash like he's Ash's homie.
He is Ash's homie. They grew up. They from day one where they hate each other to now. You swear they were brothers in arms.
The best one was in the movie when Ash got turned to stone.
Oh God,
And
the
then
very first movie.
Pikachu started crying.
Everybody started crying.
Feels. Oh my God.
The feels.
All like these are waterfalls coming out of my.
It was so sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
It was rough.
But until then, you guys, we appreciate you guys stopping by, taking a look, and listening to what we had to say. Any final words?
You could visit my YouTube page, Phil Stop. You could probably search it on YouTube by Jedi Gangster. That's me, because I'm a gangster and I'm a Jedi. I'm playing some games, mostly Division right now, but if you have one that you want to see, let me know. I'm going to do some Street Fighter soon, too. And also, brutally honest game reviews is my thing. It's been my thing since I worked at my previous jobs. Let me know what you want to review, and then I'll tell it to you straight and brutally honest.
Thank you. Also be aware that in our channel too as well, we'll have some gameplay where we will be playing games. A lot of the old school classics from the NES up to N64 era. And if you like fighting games in its entirety, you can take a look at my channel, which you can search it on under Keyuma, Keyuma, in which you'll see a lot of Street Fighter, Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat. The list goes on. So until then, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.